Don't make this mistake. What many people say is one of the biggest source of regrets in a lifetime. Welcome in. Much love, Trav here, and I don't claim to have all the answers, but I have a lot of thoughts on the mistake of choosing the wrong career and or choosing the wrong field, which is something a lot of people make, and for a lot of reasons. People think that, hey, I should do what makes money, not necessarily what I want to do. I'll keep that as a hobby because if I mix this stuff, then I won't like it that much. Or I should go into this field because it makes sense for this reason. But the deeper we go down paths, the harder it is to extricate ourselves from them. So we should have very good reason before entering down into a career or a field, because they say not only is it the biggest source of regret, but one of the worst things is getting too good at the wrong thing. So I think we should start off with the difference between a career and a field, because this is pretty interesting. And the good news is, yeah, it seems like that we can change things. It definitely slows us down. We're always advantaged just having more years in something. But the biggest predictor of success almost is when we start doing something. So if I'm 27 and I'm starting a new career or moving to a new field, yeah, it's going to set me back, but it is possible. There's a lot of mobility that's necessary, especially with evolution of technology and with emerging markets and disappearing markets. So there's some luck to this. I might be forced to change careers, forced to change fields, and it's nice to know how it's done and what the strategy is. But a career is basically what we do. A career is like an educator or a researcher or a writer. A field is the medium, and the medium could be gaming, a gaming community. It could be sports. It could be medicine. It could be science, etc. And that's important because for my career, I can switch fields very easily. Like, I'm not that easily, but it's possible. Like, if my career is a lot to do with producing content around gaming, then it's not that hard for me to shift my field to producing content around self-development or fitness, right? So there's one avenue to escape, or to an exit plan if necessary, or if you just have a different interest, right? Similarly, if you're an educator, you're a teacher, you could teach math or you could teach history. How much of a difference does it make? You can always switch that up if you want to. Switching careers, so that's switching fields. You can switch fields. You can switch careers as well. For instance, like staying within the field of gaming. Maybe my career is based on education. I'll work with people. And maybe I switch into doing broadcasting and commentating games and stuff like that. Or I can change my career into being more about competing, being competitive. So the point is, you can also change your career within the field. It's not that hard to do. I mean, you see NBA players, like professional athletes, when they retire, they stay in the same field, but they become a coach or become an analyst. That's where you're forced to change your career. What's hard to do is simultaneously changing career and field. Like, I used to be a pro athlete in basketball, and now I'm going to be like a history teacher. You know, it just doesn't make sense. Or I'm going to be an online marketer now and selling Google AdWords. So it's just like, what? Right? So it seems like if you don't like where you are and you're looking at, I want to be here instead. You know, I chose to be a doctor of medicine because that was good money, but I actually want to be doing XY instead, but it's totally disconnected. Then I might need to make 2 moves on the way there as I build the skills, or just fucking go for it. Does that make sense? I think that's important. All right, let's back up here and think about By the way, welcome and much love. Trav here on early morning, here, early-ish morning, sun's up, but here in Humboldt, gotta get in building my skills every day in the morning, storytelling, video, acting, being helpful, edutainment, etc., etc. So, careers and fields. You don't want to choose the wrong career, you don't want to choose the wrong field. I think it's important that for whatever you're doing, and you hear this, it can be for money. It can't be all about for money. It can't be all about for security. You have to have some amount of passion behind it, or else it will become your biggest regret. That's a huge thing. It's like money, we don't want to undervalue money, we don't want to overvalue money. And you can also make a lot of money doing a lot of things. You can make a lot of money just by being good at what you do. So we shouldn't be, I'm going to be a doctor just because it's good money, because you can make a lot of money doing a lot of things. You can have security doing a lot of things. What's important is that you enjoy your days, like you like your career and you like your field. It's a big mistake to think that'll come later. It won't necessarily. And it's a mistake to think, and I'll tell you this one from experience, that if you mix your work with money-making activities, it's somehow going to taint it. Not really. I mean, if anything, I enjoy my play even more now that there's money associated with it. It's even better, right? So that's a myth. Here's some more good news, though. Say that you're stuck in something, or maybe you're sure. Like, I don't know if magic was 100% the right field, this gaming niche. That I chose. Maybe it should have been fitness, maybe it should have been self-development. I can leapfrog into that later. I don't know if I chose the right career as being a vlogger, but I know that I can change content producer, etc. I can even move into retreats and have retreats in my niche and bring people together in person. I could get into doing after-school clubs and stuff with kids, right? There's a lot that I can change, and that's great. But here's the thing. Grass is often greener on the other side, and we need to make a commitment to the thing that we're doing now and do it the best that we can. And ultimately, the field, the medium is very irrelevant. It doesn't matter very much. What matters is how we do it. We can be a great artist, we can be a great painter, contribute great value to society through anything that we do, just through the mood that we do it, the emotion and passion we put behind it. There's an example that I will give here that I've been giving a bunch of times. If you're not following tnorman23 on Instagram, you should check him out, because he's the perfect example here of a police officer who is incredibly famous and influential because of the way he does his work. Kids run to his cop car like he's the ice cream man because he's so warm. He tells the kids that he loves them, and they don't necessarily hear that otherwise. And you wouldn't think he's a police officer, but he is, and you could do the same as a barista. I could do the same as a Magic the Gathering content producer. You could do the same as a teacher, right? It really doesn't, in the end, this is the good news, is it really doesn't matter. The field matters a lot less than the career, I believe, because the field is pretty arbitrary. There's infinite number of fields. And, you could be interested in gaming, but also interested in history, but also interested in marketing and so on. And the field just doesn't matter because there's so many things that it could be. The career is a lot more important, I believe. And again, you can change both of these, but career is more important because it's more fits to my personality type. I don't believe there's anything in our personality type that necessarily says you're gonna like math more than history. Maybe a little bit. Oh, maybe I'm wrong, perhaps a lot, but I do know that for career, some people are more attuned to sitting and staring at a computer. Some people really can't stand that shit. Some people want to be surrounded by people and want the stimulus of that. Some people can't stand that. So it's important for your career to think, what's it going to be, right? Now, if I feel, for instance, like I fucked up, right? I'm out here alone at 8, 9 a.m. going on a walk. I want more people in my life. Like, what am I going to do? I don't need to change my field. I can change my career, though. I can move into retreats. I can go into more tournaments and start managing teams, bring people behind me. If there's something that I want, I can make that change a lot easier by shifting my career a little bit than shifting my field. The field, to me, it seems like is almost irrelevant as long as it holds your interest enough. The career is more what's going to make or break your life, your happiness. That's why they say one of the biggest regrets that we have is what career we choose, not what field we choose, because field is arbitrary. Career is very important to our personality and growth. And that said, it's not necessarily that easy to shift careers because you might have the skill set or you might not have the skill set. When I started doing YouTube, did not have the skill set. Arguably, I still don't have the skill set, but I'm getting better. And I bet you see me continue to do this in 1 to 2 years, 3, 4, 5 years, then I will have the skill set for sure, and I'll be very good at it, and I'll have a large audience as well. But I don't necessarily have the skill set to start doing retreats. The first one might be a dud, right? Might be a failure, but if it's something that you want, you just have to be persistent and keep going. So, those are my thoughts on careers, on not making one of the biggest mistakes that people make. So, the younger you are, the better the news is. Think about who you are, what you like to do, and think about what fields interest you. And if you want to change, you always can, but it's better the younger you are to have more options or more time to master something. But again, the worst thing you can do is think that you're stuck and not change and be unhappy about it, because you have a lot of options to move and ways to leapfrog between different things. And I mean, you look at many of the most successful people and they have different careers in different fields. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger was a professional bodybuilder. Then he was a marketing mail order salesman in the same field. Then he was an actor, different career, different field. Then he was a politician, different career, different field. And these things had almost nothing in common, other than even bodybuilding was not needed to be very social. These things are almost nothing in common. So, I mean, there's one example for you if you want to think about how you can switch it up. You can, right? So, just got to build them skills, though. If you come in as a noob, though, and you start off not very good, like you look at Arnold's first movie, Hercules in New York. He's not a great actor. I don't know if he was like 26 or something like that, late 20s. But he would have been better if he started too, but it's irrelevant because he started when he started. They say the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago, or second best time is today. So today, make moves that you want to make, or make plans towards the moves that you want to make. And I hope you find that helpful. If you did, leave a comment and let me know. If you didn't, well, you probably didn't make it to the end, but I'd love to get some feedback, hear how this was helpful. So I'll look forward to talking to you soon. See you in the comments.